I invite you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, agenda. Any corrections or additions to the agenda for tonight?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Val. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Minutes from the August 18th meeting. I read through them. We were busy. That's, thank you for going to the
Long
effort.
paragraph.
A long paragraph, yeah. A lot of words,
Good
one
work.
right after the other, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure all the spelling's just fine.
I hope so. I did look through it a couple of times because I want to get back on my hot streak.
This is a chance if something was not, if something is in there not the way that you thought you were presenting it, now is the time to get it straightened out.
I always look for my name, but it doesn't always work.
I do
Couple of
hit
us.
Control F and I look up and make sure that our names are
Okay, got it.
accurate.
You know who's who.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion for minutes as was printed.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Open forum.
And it looks like we have Councilmember Nichols, Mayor McKee, and City Administrator Bizey. So unless any of the three of you want to speak on Zoom, or I believe we have our applicant for Corcoran Farms in the audience. You have anything to say prior?
We'll give you a chance when we're talking about your projects. Are we good? Okay. Unfinished, or presentations, no presentations tonight. Unfinished business, the City Park remaster.
We are back, just like I said we would be. This is going to be, ideally, in a perfect world, assuming nothing goes wrong, your guys' park plan. Obviously, now is the time, if you have any adjustments that you'd like to see made, we'll walk through. I have a few slides prepared, and we'll go through those, and timeline at the end as well. But this would be the last time it really comes here until we start getting into the nitty-gritty details versus here's where we want amenities lined up, here's the parking, here's all of that, so.
We could
Go ahead.
potentially, because we're only really focused on phase one. Like, we want to get the big
Correct.
outline, but there could be chances
Yes.
to redo
Yes.
some of the.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, let me rephrase, phase one. So, the first one is kind of the overall, you can see everything, but it does cut off at the bottom due to the TV. And then this is more zoomed in on your phase one. Something to note with this, you can see that the volleyball and the basketball and the tennis are all still grayed out. That was just because it wasn't confirmed if you guys want it in there. If you guys do end up wanting it in there, it'll get colored in and it'll look more cohesive with the rest of it. But this is essentially all of the amenities that we talked about last week with some adjustments. So in addition to the phase one amenities that I had brought to you guys last month, you'll notice basketball and tennis courts and then volleyball court. Those were both put on the budget as well. So the previous meeting, the requested adjustments that you guys had were reasoning for the turn lane addition on County Road 50, the adjustment of the trail between the splash pad and the building, the organic trails throughout the park, northeast parking lot being moved, it's the one next to the soccer fields, a quote for the 31 spot parking lot, quotes for the tennis, volleyball, and basketball courts. And I am going to change this back to the logo for just a split second because the computer is not showing everything that I need it to. Bear with me for just a second. Okay. So, going through each of these, the reasoning for the turn lane on County Road 50, basically any large enough updates, the city park will require a turn lane. So, almost regardless of what you guys decide, even if it was just, we want to take half of this, you're probably still going to need a turn lane. It's for safety reasons, just let.
Along with the speed limit being lowered.
Potentially. We could talk to Hennepin County.
Again,
Did we do
Okay.
that already?
Yeah, I think they did a study a little while back.
but
And then the trail that was splitting the building and the splash pad, that got adjusted. You'll notice though that part of the playground did have to shift up with it. That just happens due to grading and everything. However, I think that it's not the worst thing. We could probably do like the 2 to 5 year old section up there, and that might make it a little more separate, less big kids hopefully on the small kids section, but.
and how
I
wide
will-
is that path?
It would be 8 feet, unless it's part of the Diamond Lake Regional Trail, then it would be 10. I will probably turn to Commissioner Weifels though, because I'm sure that as an avid parent, you have,
I'm a little mixed on the playground splitting because like you said, sometimes it's nice because kids will play tag and stuff on,
Equipment.
but at the same time, when you have like, sometimes you have like a 2-year-old and they're fine on that, but then you also have maybe like a 4-year-old who's pretty adventurous and they want to be on the big stuff. So trying to be across the way is not, makes it me a little bit leery about that. But I know like Fields of Medina, there's like a path between the two. So it's not a deal breaker. It's, I wouldn't say it's ideal, but
right,
if there's nothing else we can do, I mean, because I'm guessing they can't put the trail like,
behind it.
yeah, like to the side of the pickleball courts, and then around.
From my understanding, it
No.
wasn't possible.
Okay.
But I did want to note that. The organic trails, you can see in the large map, they're a little more meandering, so it reflects more of what you guys were looking for.
Is that all in phase 1 now?
No,
I didn't think so.
nope, but they are shown on the plans per
excited.
your guys' request.
Let's go after that 50
Yeah.
million bond.
Let's push harder on that.
The northeast parking lot movement, that was unable to be moved due to the city setback requirements on parking lots. The recommendation from staff would be fencing along the road similar to the fencing that's already along County Road 10 near Snyder Field, which is this field right here. So if you ever drive by or on your way home, if you can see it, there's fencing just along the property line.
And that fencing would go,
It could go on the other side of the soccer fields is what I'm, I guess, suggesting. Just if the concern is the balls or kids running through, it just might kind of help contain and show that there are boundaries to it and make people a little more aware of the road, I guess, if they don't see the cars driving by. The quote for the 31 spot parking lot is approximately $25,000. The current plan proposes 343 spots. In your packet, it said 363. I hit the wrong key on the 10 key. We need 361 spots to meet code. However, there is still some parking available as part of phase 1. The class 5 lots off of 10 right here, and then off of 50 right here down by the warming house. So that would help. And then the quotes for volleyball, basketball, and tennis are all also in your packet. The next steps for this, I will take any requests, adjustments, recommendations that you guys have, bring them back to Nick with Stantec. We'll make the adjustments, and then that will go to City Council next Thursday. So it's a very quick turnaround, so I hope you have your mind made up tonight, because tomorrow I will be typing the report, and it has to go almost immediately into the packet so it can go up. We'll be determining funding options So right now we're looking at bonding. We've got the 100,000 from the Northwest Area JCs, the 45,000 from Hamel Athletic Association, some park dedication. We're hoping for that Hennepin County Youth Sports Grant, which is in November, potentially gambling funds, and then potentially ARPA funds as well. So that is exciting. We're finding more money, maybe. October 13th is the council's financial plan discussion, so that'll determine if the park remains part of this bonding round. And then November is, like I said, the Hennepin County Youth Sports Grant, so applying for the grant. And then hopefully, in discussions with Jess about an hour and a half ago, going out for bid in spring of 2023, so big things. Other things to note, oh, that was it, just kidding. Here's your overview. A little bigger already.
So have we always been taking out the pavilion right away? Or is that part of the,
No,
Open on the trail.
that got adjusted when we were putting a pavilion as part of the splash pad.
okay.
Where is it now on the?
Right now, it
Little lake.
is right here, but the trail runs through it.
Okay.
It's right next to the park that's there.
Oh, I see it, okay. It'd be kind of nice to keep that. I mean, 2 pavilions is better than 1 pavilion. I just, if we just move the trail just a little bit, that's a decent asset we have.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of the same thing. 'Cause how much are we, well, 7,500, but
How much to
to
remove?
remove it,
Add a new pavilion's got to be more than that though.
yeah.
Because how long ago was that built? You know?
A mile from my understanding.
Oh, was it?
Like, is it in,
It was there when I moved here 30 years ago.
The
Oh,
roof
okay.
has
Okay.
seen better days.
oh, okay.
Okay, so maybe it's ready to be.
Well,
It's definitely still usable.
it's a kind of, for as big as it is, there's amazingly little space under cover. When it rains, because it's not a rectangular shape or a circular shape.
star.
It's a star. And so lots of space is right next to the edge of the roof. So if there's a breeze, it's amazing how little space there is in there, but,
Okay.
you know.
Is it, do you know if it's in good shape though? I mean,
Well, we do the tree giveaway there,
Yeah.
and I don't, it's a lot better than the tennis courts.
Yeah, right.
That's a pretty
that-
low bar.
I was gonna say, is that saying much?
It's better than the warming house, a lot
Okay,
better than the
well.
warming house, but, it's certainly, it's a dated thing, but to leave it there for a while, it's part, I think a lot of people feel some attachment to it, because it is sort of unique.
The usage of it continues to rise, which is why if you guys were to say, I don't think we need any pavilion at all, that would probably cause me to go, well, let's pause.
Well, and with more people coming to this park, once we have some of this in place, it'd be nice to have another quasi-covered shelter, I guess.
All right, I can follow up with Nick, and that can be one of the things. Is there a way to adjust the trail? If he can't adjust the trail, just because I'm seeing how close it is to that corner of the playground. Now, to be fair, is the container for the playground probably going to be a rectangle? No, more than likely not. But if we can
You must
adjust
be able to
it,
make it work if it's.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to
Keep
take,
it, but-
I wouldn't want to take space out of the playground area to do that, I don't think.
so if it can be done, make it happen. If it can't, there's not a lot of love lost.
Yeah, that's probably a good attitude.
Okay, but I'll do what I can.
Okay. I think Jeremy pointed this out last meeting, but the volleyball court looks like it's still $5,000, so that's an easy add-in with immediate impact. The hockey rink is $20,000, which still isn't bad, but I know we're not trying to add money.
I will note the hockey boards are getting to their lifespan.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the unit cost difference, not the estimated cost. So it's 120 for that, not 20. So the volleyball is 10. They added 5 from last time. So I would say at least the volleyball courts would be nice to add in there.
Okay, so if we don't move the hockey rink, it will stay there till the boards fall down? Or,
I would imagine that they will have to get replaced before you guys start even planning phase 2.
this would be the last winter for it? Or one of the last winters?
From my conversations with Pat,
Yeah.
the public works superintendent, I would say that
Yeah, okay.
they are desperate to be replaced. Even last year was getting to the point of, we're gonna have to replace it soon.
So is this what the cost would be if we were gonna replace, that's a full replacement, 120,000, or can we,
So it would be moving the entire hockey rink. so
Okay.
It'd be a new rink.
okay.
Because where it's proposed is, if you're familiar with the hockey and skating out at the park, the bottom right one, the orange one,
Yep,
is kind of where the open skate is, and I think it even goes into the smaller rink a little bit. And then obviously over top of Lions Field, but that might help with flooding, because that field floods a lot.
So I do have just sort of an ongoing concern with parking, and I know that I don't know how big the community room is going to be or what the capacity is, but that if it's actually used, say, for things like 50th wedding anniversary parties or birthday parties for grandpa or such things, there's not, the 31 spots to the south on that long line of parking, that's about a football field away from the
the
community.
playground area,
Community, from the community room. And so that, I mean, I can do that. But, you know, grandpa may or may not be able to, grandma may. So it's, you know, if you look at how much parking do we have for the existing pavilion, which would be sort of the summertime version of that, there's not much. You know, it really would fill up, I don't know, what does it hold, 20 cars or something? It's not many. So maybe I'm just being cautious, but I think we need to make sure that we're staying on, depends on what the capacity is, and I don't know if there's a standard formula that says parking spots per participant, you know.
We have something in the code, and I believe there's a formula for it. I don't have it on
Yeah,
hand
but
necessarily, but
we should be really cautious of that. I think this is a good start, but I think we need to make sure that we're staying in touch with that combination of things.
and then in previous plans, this has been shown, this square down here, as another community room
Okay,
section as well. So for this one, this is pretty close, and then these are also still
yep.
pretty
Yes,
close.
they're also very close.
So I would have to imagine that as people come to the park, you're probably gonna park more near where you're trying to go.
We hope.
I would hope that people won't park in the 31 spots and be shooting for the playground. I would imagine that what is that,
62.
62 spots.
I think
That's
that should
the
be
playground,
sufficient.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Unless we build the coolest playground to ever exist.
Well, we might do that.
That'd be okay.
That's my goal.
150,000 though.
That's very true.
All right, so I think adding the volleyball, the
Possibly hockey.
possibly, and hockey,
Hockey's a little more,
I think we should ask for what we want. We're an advisory board, and it is more money. It is, in terms of the total budget, it's not a big amount, but we do this dollar by dollar in Corcoran, so, as we should. But to say, ask for what we think will serve the city best, and then we need to modify that due to budget, then we, you know, that'll happen.
so then one thing I would say
Yep.
is, so the hockey, the 120,000 extra one here, that would be the one that's not planned, right? So we'd be adding one more, because the current costs already have those, the open skate and the hockey, because they're highlighted in orange, right? Okay, so then I would definitely go with the volleyball, but then I would lean towards the basketball and tennis to get a variety, if we already have those two hockey.
Okay,
So
volleyball,
that's-
basket, and
Yeah,
tennis.
that'd be my thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
So keep the open skate keep the hockey rink, add basketball and tennis.
And volleyball.
Basketball, I had volleyball down,
Okay.
sorry. And then Councilmember Nichols raised his hand and would like to speak.
Yes, go ahead.
Give me just a second.
And then Phil said what I was going to say, reminding you about the basketball court.
Thank
So,
you.
yes, I think that would be beneficial.
Is that loud enough?
I heard, yeah.
Yep, yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Also, Councilmember Nichols, I'm the only one who can see you. But you're more than welcome to turn your video on.
I'll do some peekaboo once in a while, how about that?
Wonderful.
The pond in the southwest corner there, I think we had talked about making that more shapely.
That's the best you could do.
Really?
Yep,
Okay, all right.
I tried, I really did.
We'll throw some rocks out there or something, make it look.
Wildflowers.
There you go.
Yeah, hopefully there's some vegetation around that, because I'm just thinking about soccer balls going into that.
We, as a pond, we can't mow within 25 feet, right?
That would be a public works question. or a-
I
Okay,
would think we have
yeah.
to follow, we have to follow the same rules as the
Okay.
rest of the cities.
'Cause I've played soccer by a big pond, and it's kind of a pain.
I'm sure it will continue to be, not every ball rolls into the pond, they go sailing into the pond, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that will, yes.
So just to recap thus far, move the trail to keep the pavilion if possible, add volleyball, add basketball and tennis. We have parking concerns. I'll check in on that.
Yep.
Just making sure we
Just
have
make sure
enough.
we do it to standard. You know, I believe the standards are adequate. yeah.
Last month it was, do we have too much? This month, do we have
We have
enough?
enough.
We're looking at it
It's-
from every angle.
It's,
Thorough.
and how much do we have in it? Is it in the right place? I think we have enough. My question is just in particular, because I'm of that generation that needs to not walk quite so far, so.
Would it help if I go back to your guys' thoughts from last month?
Yeah, the parking, now you have me thinking about that. I don't know that there's what we could even do, but when I think about pickleball being for, again, like a lot of different ages, and is there enough parking for the people who are of the older sector of playing pickleball? Yes, very experienced in life.
To play the other side, they're going to play an active sport.
We may as well walk there.
Okay.
It's a warm-up.
Okay.
A dynamic
I
warm-up.
don't know how much you actually have to move in pickleball. I've never played it, so I wasn't sure.
pretty active.
Are you?
You get a
Okay.
sweat going, yeah.
Okay.
Fun.
Because it's been touted for like everybody. and
Everybody,
so
yeah.
I didn't know if,
Those with, I'm trusting that the handicap spots will be up close to the,
Yeah,
to
that's a
the
good
playground.
point.
So those pickleball players who have it.
okay, that's a good point.
Realize.
Okay. All right. But people are really excited about the pickleball. I've been like talking to people and they're like, oh, that and the splash pad. It's a lot of,
You guys are more excited about the parking, I can tell.
That's our job, yeah. All right, other comments, suggestions?
How many linear feet of trails is there? Do you know?
For the entire,
She does.
I do, I asked for it, actually. Sidewalk, this is for the entire, all of the trails that are shown, not just phase one, so I don't have that, unfortunately. However, for the sidewalk, it is approximately 2,400 linear feet, and the trails are approximately 11,000 linear feet, so 13,400
13,400 linear
linear feet.
feet.
So then multiply that, well, you really can't, because it's gonna be 8 or 10 depending on if it's our trail or Three Rivers.
I thought it was $50 a linear foot.
Oh, you're going for cost, I was going for
Oh,
square
oh,
foot.
okay, got it. So 13,000
13,400.
so $100 That'd be 1.3 million? That doesn't sound right. That's a lot of trails, though.
It's
I don't have
11,000, 13,000
Yeah.
is 2.5 miles.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. If on the wood chip
Lot of
trail, it would be
trees
2
is-
miles.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, so Val and Judy are still looking at their sheets. Oh, I guess you're all still looking at sheets. So you would like a motion to do something, send a plan to the
Yes.
city council? Okay. The chair will entertain a motion to approve a plan as modified? Because we've added those, the volleyball courts, the tennis court.
Ideally, moving the trail to keep the pavilion,
Mhm.
adding volleyball, adding basketball, and adding tennis.
Is there a motion to accept that and send that on to the city council?
I'll make a motion to accept that, push it on to city council.
A second.
And there's a second. Further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Jessica, thank you for getting that all together and keeping it together. That's the way things work, right?
Honestly, I am pretty much just the liaison because Nick is the one who does all of the adjustments. I cannot stress enough, he has been so wonderful to work with. He gets everything turned around quick, he knows we're on a budget. He's been so accommodating. Just fantastic, honestly.
There is always the question, if we don't do most of this right, people will hate us for the next 50 years, because it'll be that long before we do it again. So it pays us to be careful,
Yes.
as careful as we can be. We can't tell the future, we just don't know what's going to become popular. In 50 years, maybe nobody will be driving a car here, there'll be some other way that people are going to move around, so. We'll see.
Change that parking lot into something else. huh?
We will.
Sure, things too.
All right.
Skate park.
Skate park, there we go. All right, new business, Corcoran Farms.
Okay. So, Corcoran Farms Business Park is the applicant. It is located off of kind of County Road 50 and Larkin. It's kind of smack dab in the middle there. They submitted a request for rezoning to Plan Unit Development Preliminary Plat and Preliminary PUD Development Plan to develop a 5-lot industrial park. You can see kind of on the teeny tiny comp plan down there, there's a star. It's right under City Park, so if that helps as kind of a navigating part. It's 70.36 acres. It's zoned light industrial. The shoreland overlay district is on the east, and it has to comply with buffer and setback requirements. There's wetlands scattered throughout, and it has to comply with the buffer and setback requirements. This is the plan. It's kind of hard to see, so if we need to, I can pull up the packet after this too, so that we can look at it a little more in depth. The trail alignment is the big thing that we're going to be focusing on. The Parks and Trails plan shows an off-road trail running along the eastern property line near the creek. City requires 8-foot bituminous trail in a 20-foot right-of-way. For the trail shown on the comp plan, the park dedication is given for the net area of the trail easement. If you guys remember, Three Rivers has come to you guys numerous times with the Diamond Lake Regional Trail. That runs through the site. It's on their master plan. So they suggest a 10-foot bituminous trail with still that 20-foot easement. The current alignment does not appear to meet shoreland/wetland buffer and setback requirements. So we're looking for the developer to confirm that. But for you guys, how will this trail connect to the trail on the south side of Larkin at Bluebonnet? And is this alignment on the northern part what you're looking for as well? I realize that's very vague when you're not looking at the map, so like I said, we'll pull that back up in a second. This is gonna be a little tricky to see, but I'll use my mouse to try and show you. The current trail starts up here, if you can see my mouse, and it runs down along the east side and along that creek. What staff is proposing is kind of an adjustment, and keeping in mind, we don't really have a suggestion or a recommendation on this northern part. We're kind of leaving that to you guys. And we can talk about where it falls in comparison to City Park, because that is also very close. But the staff recommendation is to have it travel along that east border, still along the creek, down to here, and then the applicant actually shows a 6-foot private trail along here that then connects to the road and the sidewalk and goes up to a private, what is described as a park up here. Staff's proposal is to take this eastern trail, run it down in between here, and then come out on to what connects to Blue Bonnet. The reasoning for that, this is a gas line through here, so they can't put a building on it, and if you guys have anything that I'm saying it wrong, please feel free to correct me. But there's a gas line under here, so they can't really put anything on it, but it sounds like the trail could go on it. With that, there was discussion between Three Rivers and staff less than 4 hours ago to bring it down through here, cut across this back way, and then connect to Blue Bonnet over here. However, my understanding is that there is not enough room back here to have landscaping, the setback, and the trail. So with that, they would either have to shift the building up, which isn't really possible because of the gas line that's there, or they would have to cut the size of the building, which to my understanding would then make it harder for you guys to get people into the building. It'd make it less competitive. So, we are looking for a recommendation on the trail alignment, and that you guys get a 20-foot easement with a 10-foot bituminous trail. You'll notice that the numbers for cash in lieu of land and how much acreage would be needed, you only get the amount that's needed for the entire plat, but we don't have how much the trail would be exactly. I did the math on the staff proposed trail, the one on the right here, and it was approximately, give me 1 second to get back to my notes. Approximately, sorry, I have it in 4 different areas.
It's okay.
3,000 feet of trail, which would be approximately 60,000 feet of easement, so about 1.377 acres, which leaves about 0.6 that would be cash in lieu of land. I don't have the monetary number, but to at least give you an idea. Oh, and it looks like Councilmember Nichols has his hand raised.
Yes,
One more
Councilmember.
thing, just to chime in, and maybe this is a question. Three Rivers presented that when we have trail that will become regional trail, they would reimburse us for park dedication that we don't take by getting land instead. Is that at a position where it would be applicable for this project, or are they not at a point where that works for us yet?
Between the various projects that I have been working on, I still have not had a chance to touch base with Three Rivers because I have to touch base with Thames still, our city attorney. So at this point, it would be a topic of discussion, but I can't confirm it.
Okay. That would be good to know eventually. But maybe for the benefit of the Parks Commission, provide your insight for both scenarios. So in one scenario where we'll get the dedication funds regardless of how long the trail is or where it's located, because it'll be reimbursed. And then a second scenario where maybe the Park District hasn't gotten to their approval yet, where that'll be effective for this project, what you would prefer in that case.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So there is potential that we could get reimbursed from Three Rivers. We have to go through the agreement with them still. Like I said, I still have to talk to Thames. We're working on also updating our park dedication formula, so that could potentially change as well. That's kind of the best information I have for you.
And where did Three Rivers want the trail? They're happy with it on the east side?
They preferred it to go along the east side here
Mm-hmm.
and then down this way. But it just doesn't seem to be an option.
I don't see your mouse.
Oh, sorry. You see it now?
Oh, yes, okay. If I look in the right spot, that I see it.
And then through this orange squiggle that got crossed out, and then underneath. But as discussed, that would cut the size of the building.
On that gas line too. You can't do
Yeah,
anything
well-
with that. How many feet is it? Anybody? I don't know how many, but
It's 50 feet.
50?
Gentlemen, do you have things you would like to tell us? We'd be happy to have a little input from you.
Well, I don't know.
Why don't you can go up to the mic there, and then everybody will get to hear you.
Yeah, I think I'm Jeff Minia, lead developer for JMMK, and represent the company and whatnot. So I guess really, we just came to listen tonight to, we've had the directive or direction and conversations with Kendra about, the likely best place for the path and why. And I think we understand that. So I think we're good with that. In terms of it, where it turns and where it comes out and everything, that's kind of been the latest discussion, which we're just listening in on at this point. So we really don't have a whole lot to react to at this juncture. But I would reiterate that, yes, we really don't have any ability to shrink the building at all. We've already condensed it a bit further due to the setbacks right of ways, due to the pipeline easement, things like that. So maybe the existing interior trail might be the best for it, and then outletting along Blue Bonnet as you're trying to propose there might be the most viable. But that's just all I have at this point.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
So off of Larkin coming up, that's an extension of Blue Bonnet where it goes into the cul-de-sac, correct?
Yeah.
That's okay, okay.
Would it help if I pull up a different map?
Well, real briefly from what I'm seeing dark stuff on the, say, the north side of the south building. Okay, parking is on the way south. On the north side, is that shrubbery or what is that the front of the building or the back?
That is the loading dock.
Oh, just, okay. So it'd be going between docks and that kind of thing then?
Correct.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to get it pulled up so we have a better map.
That's fine.
I'm gonna take this back on my side then.
So, I mean, from my point of view, I guess that there's nothing wonderful about having a trail along County Road 50 that has its own set of problems. And so to have a trail that for a few hundred feet runs between two large buildings on a space they can't use is not necessarily a
Would
bad
there be
thing.
any barrier walls or what?
For a portion of it, there'll be some shorter retaining walls.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be on the east end of that interior trail there's retaining walls on both sides. So you'd be down a little bit as you come from the creek and then head west.
So you got tractor trailers or semis going in there and going to back up to these docks. How much space is there between this trail and the,
We have 120 feet between the building and where those walls would be. 50 feet of space in between there.
so 120 to the trail?
To the trail, it'd be about 130, 140.
Yeah, so maybe to point out, I
Sure.
think, we're saying 120 from this point to the edge of the parking lot, which is right here. And then the additional footage from here to here varies a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an extra 10 to 20 feet probably.
Because there's also 5-foot deed easement for the city along that outside of the gas easement, so looking at 60-foot wide through there in total.
So we have a 10-foot trail on a 60-foot wide strip between your two buildings.
Correct.
Plus there's 120 from there too.
Well, 60 from the parking lot and then 120 between the buildings.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Can you put any sort of, like, will there be any sort of landscaping in addition to the walls, or is that the pipe?
At this
Cause
point,
it-
they don't want us to.
Okay,
We're in discussions with the gas company.
okay, so it's,
Do anything in there, so it's
Okay.
not just grass.
okay.
So, and you're proposing a private, this currently is, in your proposal, is a private trail?
Correct.
It has there's no traffic coming from anywhere else, so it's going to be only your staff, only the employees who are would be using it,
Walk during lunch.
walk during lunch, which is really nice. I've walked on trails during lunch, it's a nice feature, yeah. And that would run across all, can we back up a little bit so we can see where, or go look at that map? And that runs all the way across the development on the right-of-way, on the gas main, and then up the hill there to that park. Okay. So that's not going to provide any particular competition for use of the trail. You don't use, there's not going to be a stream of golf carts running up and down or anything like that. It'll be pretty quiet.
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
It probably would be very limited use.
Okay, yeah. Well, and you're actually, if this trail is right there, any of your employees who want would be able to ride in a different direction, go up to City Park, or eventually down Bluebonnet. I think that, it'll be pretty
Your
sweet.
original proposal is for it to go up Bluebonnet into that dead-end circle? That was the original, and then,
The original proposal would have been on this east side.
Yeah, just all the way down to Larkin.
I think they're just saying that regardless, there's going to be a private trail going up there, right?
There's a sidewalk in the right-of-way.
Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not going to go against park dedication.
yeah,
That's-
thank you.
Yeah.
That was my question, okay. And what will be at the dead end of that circle then? Just,
If you take a quick slide up there on that, I think what we're just thinking of like is maybe something like you were talking about at your city park, and that is just a covered, potentially a covered patio, picnic type area. Not really certain exactly how elaborate, but we just want to have some place for people to maybe gather up there, employees maybe have a lunch or whatever.
pick up lunch and go sit outside and eat it type thing?
And have it covered in the summer and everything, so just a little rec area that we thought would be nice for the employees of the park.
I mean, I know you don't know who you're renting to, obviously, but, or maybe you do. What type of business is the goal for in there?
It's, light industrial companies, they're, a mixture of office space, and a lot of their businesses are probably assembling something, distributing some parts of their raw materials or what have you, so it could be a heating and air contractor that just has material in the back, they puts
Right.
on his trucks, and
Right.
then, or he could sell it to somebody or something like that. So it's a very, very wide variety of uses, but they're all, it's all business hours, regular activity, nothing, it won't be heavy manufacturing, and it won't be, anything that's like, we're not planning on any real heavy outdoor storage or anything, although that could be a request later, but, what we're trying to hopefully get to is just buildings like these that are, majority of the activity stays inside the building.
Sure.
So,
Would it be a concern if we have the city, or actually the Three River Parks Trail running between your buildings, that you're going to, some of those folks riding there would see your little pavilion and then go up there? Is that it would not be hard certainly to put a sign up saying this is for folks. beyond that, I don't know what we would do.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much of a concern.
Okay.
It could become that it's a dual use. It could be
Okay.
that if it isn't anything that's too much of an investment from the standpoint that we would be having to do extra maintenance or anything like that, then I don't think we would mind. And it'll be a small item to take care of anyway, so I think we'll be, but we could put a sign up as, you know, that's probably a good way to do it, and try to limit it to the daytime business.
Okay.
But, we're okay with it either way.
The nice thing is it is kind of tucked up in a way.
It is.
And if they're coming from the north, they're already gonna see the pavilion too. Maybe even 2 pavilions.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They would have just gone through City Park,
Uh-huh,
or just on their way to
exactly.
City Park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd say chances are they come down, go through, take a quick break, sit down for a second, and then hop on their bikes and leave. It wouldn't be a,
Let's go have a picnic
let's
there.
picnic here. You know, the employees, yes, but just somebody passing through on their bike, I wouldn't think.
I have concerns about connecting to, crossing County Road 50 on the north. Right now, your path, your trail, nothing, it doesn't.
It just stops.
It stops. And you would be waiting for that, neither those two properties,
Would you like me to pull up GIS?
sure.
Give me just a second. Currently, it goes here.
It ends right there.
Right about here.
And let's see.
Do you want me to pull up the other map so you can kind of?
Well, I'm just, you got the blue rectangle there. Your property does not go to the right-hand side, does not go up on the side of that, along the creek. Can you, yep, right along there. That's not yours, is it? Nope. Okay. And if it were, but on to the left, that is, nope, I am sorry, just click on the property in question. There we go. Yep, you go up to County Road 50 there, and you're planning on having access to County Road 50 for your clients, for your businesses, or,
Well, the way it's designed
Yep.
is that the planning staff preferred to have that be only, this particular outlet piece.
Okay.
To only be an emergency exit and entrance only for emergency vehicles.
okay,
That's the way it's being presented,
okay,
so.
okay.
In my discussion with Kendra earlier today, and it was mere hours ago, I swear, she said it would be an option,
To run the trail up there, because then you're right at the park.
I'm just, yeah,
depending on wetlands.
the issue, well, yeah, there's, as I see on that northernmost building, there's the parking lot, and then it runs pretty steeply downhill. Is that a contour map that's showing that? Yeah. So we would be trying to we'd be wanting to put a trail on sideways on a steep downhill.
Backpedal. I said backpedal.
But if we in the trail where it is now, we may never get that problem.
It would be waiting for the that development to go through. And yeah, and if Three Rivers is gonna build the trail, then I don't think that would faze them. I don't know that for sure, but they're pretty knowledgeable. They've built a lot of trails in a lot of places. Would you have if it can be done appropriately, to have to have the trail not dead end there, but to go over and go on the emergency only road, would that be, could that be amenable to you?
Well, I guess it's probably not our preferred,
Okay.
just because it'll be added expense for us. But the same token, so what we're trying to do is, offer up the trail dedications.
Yep.
As much as we could.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess that's where we, just human nature, we're
Sure.
trying to keep our budget down.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of things we've added to add to our expenses with interior trails and all the rest of it, so, I guess that would be my candid response would be.
Okay.
There'd be that additional expense, which would be fairly significant.
Which would be, you mean in the grading it properly, in the change in grading and the change?
Yeah, and potentially traversing wetlands, right, John? Yeah, so, yeah, there's quite a bit more distance to go.
Yep,
Landscape to traverse that might be difficult and expensive.
Okay.
Would be the night.
okay, but if we can figure that out, Three Rivers is, okay. I don't know just how the money works on, we haven't ever had a Three River, well, we've had a Three River Trail come through Corcoran, but not that we ever noticed, because it was on County Road 19, runs straight along the highway. So this is a different sort of plan. That certainly would be certainly my preference, to have that trail wend its way over to that emergency road only, and for you guys not to be able to run your business profitably and do that. Yeah, that'd be my choice.
I guess I'll just leave it neutral at this point. I
Okay.
appreciate your comments. I understand what you're thinking, and we can maybe discuss it further.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and, we will pass a recommendation on to the city council, and then they do with it what they will. So, but we want to be as problem-solving at this stage early on as we can be, and it's good for you thank you for being really flexible. And that emergency, use only road is a great, that sounds like a perfect spot for a trail to me, because there's no traffic there.
How wide is that, then, that emergency use one? Do you know?
That's 24 feet.
24? And would it be paved? No. Yeah?
That would be paid, yes. Yeah. I would also just maybe throw out, just for comment tonight, that, obviously, the least expensive one, it would be the straight line as well. I don't know what the opportunities are to look at, an extension of that. But maybe that's not feasible, I don't know, but there's a lot of, I'd say there's a lot of distance. And again, I just want to reiterate that there could be quite a few expense complications with that particular design. The other thing is, bringing it all the way over here versus bringing it along the property line. Those are two different scenarios, and I don't know which one's the right one.
Okay.
But
Okay.
just to
Sure.
throw out the talking points on it.
Can we look at the park trail and see where it is going to intersect with this property? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Or the Three Rivers Trail plan as it's sketched out, or as we understand it for City Park?
The Three Rivers one will take me a second to pull up.
Well, if our current plan, if our most recent remaster plan has the same trail as the Three Rivers does, that'd be fine.
I have a question. On County Road 50, is there an existing driveway there right now?
No, there's not.
On where the trail would potentially come out?
Well, I just mean the property that you've got. I'm trying to figure out where it intersects with 50. Where is it coming in?
There is not a current driveway.
Whatchamacallit
It's
next
just
door?
off Larkin Road right
Who?
now.
On Larkin or on 50, right?
to get.
Or on 50, I want to know.
It's, that the electrical, what's in the electrical?
Milo?
Yeah,
Milo's old place?
I think so, because then the next one over, can you go to the G, what do
Does
you
it come
call
in
it?
between there?
So for this property, if there is an access, it's just a field
See,
road.
and then you go.
But there's a
into-
driveway.
That's the other building over there for like bone foam and stuff, I believe, tucked back.
That one?
Isn't it?
Go, can you look at the south half of that, of the property?
There.
Where?
So there's this driveway.
Further down.
The 1050, the little houses, that driveway with the loop is back where I think bone foam itself
Yep.
is.
Over there in the corner?
And would,
Can you scroll it down a little? She's looking at county road.
I've got both of you.
I know, yeah, you got Well, you're doing great.
Just trying to
I
Great.
don't know who to listen to.
the chairman,
that little white thing.
With the building in the back. And see where it says survey monuments?
Yeah.
I think that's bone foam. And then there's the little yellow house, and then you're getting towards the corner, Georges and stuff.
Mhm.
That's what I'm seeing there.
Okay.
You with me?
Well, yeah, but it's a dangerous place right there
For a driveway?
for anything.
Well, that's, I think, first of all, why the city wanted everything coming out on Larkin.
can
That's what
you,
I'm asking.
But I
Is
wonder
there
if that's our
something
30
existing?
mile an hour zone or our 55 mile an hour
Yeah.
zone.
can you go move the map up?
If it's a 30
So-
mile an hour, then getting out
Then
is
it's
not
no
a,
problem.
there's a sign
they're
they want to
using-
move.
So, no, that's fine, that's perfect. So on the south side of that, right in the middle of the property is a road. Yep, nope, right, no, go down into the outside of the, and now go to the west. Right there, nope, there you go, right there.
Blue Bonnet.
That's Blue Bonnet.
Right.
Yeah,
And you will just be extending Blue Bonnet up into that property,
That's right.
the way that the county likes you to do that.
Okay, so we're
Right.
lined up exactly.
Exactly with that. And Blue Bonnet currently is a one-lane dead-end road. But not forever. Yeah. Because I drove down there today. Pretty soon you end up saying, well, I hope the owner of that property doesn't have a, you know.
Gun?
Is happy to have somebody come in and turn around and then leave, which is what I did.
Nicer than me.
So, and, okay, now go back north again. I'm trying to figure out where the Three Rivers Trail would come out of City Park and
On 50 there?
that's what I was wondering.
cross-
That's why I was wondering if there was an existing road already.
Is the blue line there
Blue line is the creek.
is the creek, okay? Do we know what the Three Rivers Trail, where they've got, they've got it penciled in, right, through City
Yes,
Park?
theirs was more proposed along this eastern side. So it really doesn't go through there very much. I can pull up,
Because we just asked them to fix it in a certain way, didn't we? You guys are very patient, thank you.
No problem.
talk amongst yourselves.
But the mics are hot, so.
Yeah, yeah.
You see the line with the bottom, you can tell it's not come out.
Mhm.
And then by that open skate, in my mind.
Is the red line there, their park, their trail, their proposed trail?
Yes.
So they've got it through that property which you guys don't own.
There's currently drainage and utility easements in that area, that's where the city's sanitary crosses Highway 50 to the new lift station.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't think it's owned by that city.
You do, or you?
I don't think it's owned by the city, but there's easements over chunks of it,
oh,
Gotcha.
and that's right next to the creek too, so.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, if, that may be, if that's the way that, I mean, yeah, right where you're showing a dead end, then.
Stopping.
And it
then
makes
for the-
sense.
For the Three Rivers
Yeah.
to carry it on that way would be, that'd be great.
It looks like that's probably why, and I wasn't part of the design, but I think that's possibly why it sits where it sits.
Okay. And that would be, yeah, that'd be great. And then we would just not follow the plan, the red line down through your property, because you're gonna put stuff there.
Be moved over.
Yeah, we would move it so that it serves you better, well enough. Yeah. Okay.
Better.
Better? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. This three-way negotiating will be, oh, we may not know the whole story, but Kendra has that dead ending there for good reason.
Right.
So, okay. All right. Do you need anything from us?
I need a recommendation. So what I'm hearing, and then if someone just wants to take it and run with it, is take the staff recommendation as proposed.
Keep with it back up.
Yes. So the diagram on the right with the blue line that then goes to the west and then south along that green line, eliminating where the orange squiggle is, and then leaving the dead end in the northeast.
Yep. And that trail down on the south side then would match up with the future trail that's sketched in on Bluebell.
Three Rivers.
I believe, well, we better check that, but I believe so, yeah.
Oh, it's on the other side of,
If we go down, can you go down a little further south? Okay, then eventually it comes back, so they may have some, the Kendra put that line coming out on Bluebell, Bluebell?
Blue bonnet.
Blue Bonnet. Probably was done for a good reason. Yeah. They'll negotiate with Three Rivers on how to align that trail through that property, which is not being developed, and Three Rivers will negotiate with that property owner.
Can we go back to the map?
Which one?
The building map? The industrial map?
Ooh, maybe. Got too many tabs open now. That's not it. I can't see it. Hang on. I only took the one. This one?
Yeah, and then scroll down,
Sure be nice if we could get that down to 30, because that's where they accelerate.
go to the left. Okay, so if we continued the trail through all the way to the four buildings to the edge of the property and then go down, then it would align almost
Up closer
right where
with
they
the
want, where
Three
Three
Rivers.
Rivers would want the trail.
The issue with that is I would imagine that with setbacks, you guys would probably have to either move the building, which then probably wouldn't work for parking, which then wouldn't work for the road and vegetation.
Right, there's also a grade differential, so there's about 10 feet from the top of the edge here where the plantings are down to the parking lot, is it roughly that? Yeah, so, yeah, the whole thing would have to shift in, and we lose quite a bit of building area. And so this, on the other side of the property line is an easement that used to be a former, I think, planned road for going north, that's no longer going to be used. It also serves as a driveway for the two homes to the west, and it's owned by a property owner up to the northwest here. I'm trying to think of his name. But anyway, Lee Sunram. And so this particular piece, this easement piece, if you will, could be potentially a place for the trail. And they could be utilized, to continue the trail across here. And we'd have to, connect up somehow and go over there, but I don't know if it'd be, you have to come up the grade again, to get up to it. So I'm not sure if that's feasible, but that is something that's adjacent to the property that could be looked at as an alternative as well, so.
And there's the additional issue that crossing 50 will be an issue for the trail. And were you saying that crossing 50 will be not at grade? Is that the expectation?
That was what was shown on the map for Three Rivers. 10 is up for debate. It looked like 50 wouldn't have been at grade.
50 wouldn't have been,
They would have either raised it or.
or gone under.
So if that were to work for Three Rivers, with having the trail go right across the property and then exit to the property to the west, would that be?
Can you pull up the Three Rivers map now? Because I'm thinking once they get to the other side of the road,
Yeah.
there's just more farm fields, and I don't know if that's one property, two properties. You could basically go anywhere you want once that's
Well, you negotiate with the
developed.
property.
Right, but
Yeah.
yeah, if the property gets purchased or whatever, then you're planning a whole new park, or a whole new trail. So I guess I don't think it matters that much whether it crosses on the west or in the, on Blue Bonnet.
It has to cross at some point.
Yeah.
Has to cross at some point.
Yeah, I guess the only question would be, did Three Rivers see something on the western side of the southern property that would make for a good trail? But,
Now it's a whole new map, I'm sorry.
okay.
Did Three Rivers sit and look at all of these properties for these lines? Do you know what I'm,
I'm not sure if they have.
do you know what I'm saying?
So-
Whether it's going, I mean, yes, you've got your whatever maps for wetlands and stuff, but so where they've put them, or are they just putting them?
No, there were quite a few meetings between staff, Three Rivers, Chairperson Anderson was there. I believe Vice Chair Meister was there as well. We had quite a few where they did look at properties, and Brad helped kind of go, hey, these are potentially developing areas. Maybe look at the natural resources. I know Tom had highlighted a lot of the more valuable high resource or natural resource areas as well. So they were particular in some areas more than others, I would say. But at some point, I mean, there's going to be sections where you just have to make a connection, regardless of if it's a high natural resource area or not.
Because the property to the south, I mean, they've got it, if you look at it, say it's, like this, yours happens to be this, it's right through the middle again. So if it develops, what are the chances of that trail going right through the middle of that whole property?
I would say not very good. I think they're just saying this is the property that we're
This is
going to
where we're
navigate through the general
Yeah, that was kinda-
direction.
That's why I didn't know how close it was looked at.
They had said that it could shift a little bit,
Mhm.
because, I mean, if something is developing, you're not going to be like, hold on, wait, let's
We have a
put this
trail.
trail in
Yeah.
first.
No, I didn't know how close they looked at.
So we may be thinking too far ahead. As long as we get it across the road, what'll happen will happen, because we don't know what that'll be, that property to the south. So I don't think it matters whether we go to the far west of the industrial side or we go straight down Blue Bonnet, because that red trail is going to change no matter what.
Yeah. And there's no particular reason why we wouldn't want it to go all the way across. I mean, it's not a wilderness trail at this point, but it's not, it certainly is perfectly suitable place for a trail. It's certainly no worse than going up through a bunch of people's backyard, you know.
Right.
So,
The faster we could get out of the industrial park would probably be the better trail, right? So,
and
not that
the
it's not
engineering
much
on,
longer, but-
engineering on crossing 50 and Larkin, I suppose Larkin's gonna be at grade. All right. So, the recommendation was from staff. The line in blue.
The line in blue going south, so from that northeast corner, going south down the east side, and then going west over to Blue Bonnet, and then going south down Blue Bonnet. Or the future Blue Bonnet extension.
And just dead ending, and then Three Rivers will have to figure out how to.
I think that's, you know,
Make their
I think that was done consciously. Yeah. I think that'll work. All right, you're going to have a motion to accept that.
I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendations.
Second.
Second, all right. Further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your patience.
Was that always zoned light industrial? So they bought the property. It must not have been, because it was a farm, right?
Oh, no, it could be zoned. It was,
it's the
if you look on the
2040,
comp plan, it's zoned.
yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This right behind our industrial park.
It was, you know, and everything to the east of it is light industrial.
Gotcha.
If you go west, then it turns into
Agricultural or
residential.
residential? Okay.
All right, where are we? Active planning applications for information only. Do any of you have any questions? Noah would be happy to answer any questions you have on that. Noah, thank you for coming to the meeting tonight.
Of course, yeah.
You didn't have anything to do with a couple hours tonight? Huh? Oh, okay.
With the last couple of hours. He is ending his time in Corcoran with you
Last
guys.
day.
Really, is this
These
it?
are legitimately his last hours.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Where are you going now?
Three Rivers.
Well, bring our suggestions.
Right.
Really? What are you going to do for 3 years?
I'll be a facility coordinator, split position, so half the year I'll be at Highland Park, and then the other half at Minnetonka Lake Regional Park. So
And what are you going to be doing there?
So it's kind of facility operations and then dealing with program reservations, registrations, giving out equipment and stuff, and directing some seasonal staff as well. So it'll be exciting. I start on the 26th, so I have a week off and then
Nice.
get started.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, that's great.
I think those 3 River jobs, especially full-time, permanent,
Yeah.
those, boy, that's a real feather in your cap for being able to land that. Yeah, you must have done a nice job here. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, any active planning applications, questions? Okay. Recreation supervisor update.
Hello. So, things I've been working on since August. 19-night follow-up. I know that it ends August, the first Tuesday in August, but there is always more to be done. So, part of that was sending out thank you cards to sponsors. We do a debrief meeting to talk about what went well, what didn't go well, how we're gonna prep for 2023. Sergeant Eckenberg and I also went to City Council to present the resolution for accepting all of the donations. We did get a standing ovation. Just gonna throw that out there.
Saw that.
And it looks like Councilmember Nichols maybe has something to say about it. Working on the city park remaster, like I said, working with Stan Tech on updates and reports and just making sure that I'm relaying what you guys say as efficiently and effectively as possible. Social media, so I'm still posting on the city's Facebook and Twitter pages, making graphics for that, coming up with the wording. And then the big thing recently has been park dedication updates. So we're working to get more realistic numbers for the park dedication formula, because I don't know if you guys are aware, but inflation is a thing and everything is far more expensive. So we're trying to make sure that we're getting enough money to support the things that we're doing so that we can build these parks. So that has
As
been,
always.
that's been my last few weeks.
Just a few weeks. Busy, thank you. Thank you for the report, and thank you for doing all that work.
I love my job.
It's good.
That's genuine. That didn't sound as genuine as I wanted it to, but
All right, program coordinator update, Noah.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw y'all was June, so it's been a while, but to put it briefly, we started and ended summer soccer, and started fall baseball, and coach pitch just ended this past Wednesday, and then t-ball and machine pitch will end next week. But overall successful programs. Once again, I would say some of the feedback from coaches and parents included that they like how it's recreational and focused on fun and not as competitive as other programs and stuff. So I think it's working for what all of you are looking out of it still. So, and we're still getting plenty of kids registered, and we're capped out for the space we have, it seems to be. So it's been a good summer overall. So, and it's been nice coming to these meetings and kind of seeing how this process works and listen to all of you discuss. So it's been interesting, but.
We've managed to discuss without hollering at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a
Proud of all
long
that.
tradition of that, don't we? Yeah.
And yeah, today's the last day,
Last
which
day.
is weird, bittersweet, but excited for what's to come. And I hope that this park continues to be pushed through, because it is exciting.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to come back and see it in the future, so.
I will note, with it being Noah's last day, earmuffs. He's done a wonderful job. He's been great. He shows up on time. He takes initiative, does stuff that I didn't even ask him to do. I think I told you guys he organized the shed. I've been here 4 years. I have not been able to organize that shed, and he shows up, and within 3 weeks, it's done. I mean, it's a game changer, so. And I don't think that's specific necessarily to the position. Do I think that someone else could do it? Yes. But Noah far exceeds expectations and has constantly gone above and beyond. So I cannot thank you enough. You can take the earmuffs off.
Right.
This
Can't
is a
have
good
him with a
step
big
for you.
head going into Three Rivers, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, really good experience, so.
Good.
good. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much for treating the kids at Corcoran and surrounding neighborhoods so wonderfully, and their parents. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's not always, of course, you know. All right, city council report. Voice from heaven? Is there-
Voice from Corcoran, that's the next best thing, right? Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in perusing item 10A, looking for things that might be of interest to you folks, City Council has spent a lot of time the last couple of months working through the 2023 draft budget, figuring out the levy for next year. You should be seeing updates coming with the Hennepin County mailing coming up in the next few weeks. We authorized the levy amount. It may come down a bit from where it is, but it cannot statutorily go up from there. We also approved the Walcott Glen final plat and PUD, which should enable an additional, I want to say, 370,000 or so in park dedication to be deposited. We also received a request from the folks in the Bass Lake Crossing neighborhood asking about trail maintenance during winter months. In particular, they were interested in seeing if the city was willing to take on winter trail maintenance and make sure that those trails are kept clear of snow. Currently, their homeowners association is taking care of that because the trails have not yet been turned over to the city. The council's guidance was that it should remain that way until the city actually assumes responsibility for that trail when the punch list items are all completed. But we wanted to place a note on your agenda for some point to discuss how we, the city, should handle winter trail maintenance. And I won't presume to dictate it, but I would like to have a discussion with you folks about what we see in terms of the balance between keeping trails clear versus keeping some trails covered in snow for cross-country skiing and so forth. I think that would be a profitable discussion for us as the city starts to take on responsibility for some of those first trails that have been constructed in developments. We also, and Jess just touched on this a bit, park dedication updates. We've been asking for staff to spend some time updating park dedication amounts, just because primarily what we saw with the city park remaster costs. So I'm excited to see what those new calculations show us, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward and not see this kind of inflation, but it's good at least to adjust it now and be aware of that as a risk going forward as we're accumulating funds over a period of years to make sure that we're staying current on what the cost for the park system will end up being. Are there any other items on the list that anyone would like to talk about?
I see there was a denied request related to park dedication for Cook Lake Highland. Do you know what that was?
They had asked if we would allow them to pay their park dedication fees when building permits on individual parts of the project issue, rather than when the final plat is recorded. So in effect, that would be a deferral of park dedication, likely until 2023 or later, depending on how projects might change or potentially be canceled.
Sure.
So we opted not to allow that flexibility.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
Any other questions for Council Member Nichols?
Good.
Okay, thank you all very much for your service. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right, Garden Club. The Garden Club is going to go pick wildflower seeds at Cohasset Park on Saturday, September 24th. We've done it a time or two before. If you've never been to Cohasset or to do that, to pick wildflower seeds, let me know and I'll put your name in. It's 10:30 to 1:30, and it's a chance to walk off the trail out there and see it. The park has been absolutely spectacular. The laetris is blooming and the goldenrod is blooming, and so it's this mass of yellow and pink and other things. There's a wide variety of colors out there. It's all really pretty.
So you're collecting wildflower seeds to?
It's part of it. It's a Three River Park
It's part of their park.
activity.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't charge you to do it, but they keep the seed, and each bag that you have has only one kind of seed in it, at least in theory, and then they take it and clean it and sort it, and they make new seed mixes which they use for reseeding Cohasset Park areas or for new areas. Recently, the past 5 years, they put in a big new area of restored prairie Cohasset to the north of, kind of the north end of the park. So it's,
Cool.
yeah, it's very cool. Cohasset's 50 years old. And so they were early on in the business of restoring prairie. And in the olden days, they used to put seed in the back of a manure spreader and just throw it out, the way a manure spreader does that, or sort of that way. And when I first started picking seeds out there, if you looked, you could see the row that the manure spreader went down, and then they would kind of do every other, and a lot of flowers, not many, a lot of flowers, not many. And now that is just about gone. And things that I went for years without seeing now are commonplace, that it continues to grow and become more diverse and more dense and much more interesting. So it's quite a thing. Yeah, but it takes a while.
September 24th.
September 24th. Kids can do it if they get pretty restless. Eighth graders do it for school projects, and sometimes you just get a bag full of mixed seed, or you're just happy that they found their way back to where they're supposed to be, because they've sort of gone off by themselves. But yeah, no, it's a great activity. All right, Park Dedication Fund. Anything new?
Nope, not yet. But as Councilmember Nichols said, there is stuff coming down the pipeline.
There is stuff coming, yeah. When we first developed the original Parks and Trails plan, we put a cost on everything, and then we divided it by the number of lots that we expected Corcoran would have when it was fully developed, and that was what the park dedication was supposed to be. That's the way that the law requires that you do it, so that and of course, now that money, we'll spend more money on City Park by the time we're done with it than the entire plan was supposed to take back 20 years ago when we first did that. But what the city council at the time said was that our potential residents can't afford to pay that much in park dedication, so they did not move the needle all the way up to what we needed even then. So right from the very first times that we've been short. So the legislature this last session was talking about taking away that ability for cities to manage their own system by capping those sorts of amounts at level. So people want to live here, and do we want to say, no, you can't because we tax so many fees on the development of a property that they can't afford it? It's a tough call, but this is our chance. So we need to spend our money wisely, but this is, other than that, then we have to go back to property taxes for the way Corcoran gets the rest of its money. So this is our one chance to get that money. New residents should pay for the new parks, is the philosophy. That's all I know.
Thank you.
Other business? The commissioner liaison schedule, does that work for you? I see I got
In October, yeah.
the one before Christmas. Thank you.
It's how it all fell apart.
I got Thanksgiving.
You got Thanksgiving, all
You guys
right.
want to trade? You
No,
said.
it's
Good luck.
totally, no, it's all right. Especially because you can just do it online. Easy.
All right, any other business? All right, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
All right.
I second.
The second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we stand adjourned.
By the way.
No.
Well, that's